Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to an excited Wrestling Days because we are going to have a look at the Attitude Era. That's right, I've done loads of research and I've managed to find the top figures for the top superstars from the Attitude Era. We're going to take a look at WCW, WWF, obviously now WWE, and we're going to have a look at all of the best figures for the top talent. Now, before we do that, for those of you that don't know what the Attitude Era is, this was a time period. A lot of people agree it's 1997 to 2001. It's around about that time period. And it is everything just turned up. You've got loads of bad language, loads of nudity. The storylines are really shocking. It was just, everything was just so outrageous. And that's because you had two companies trying to be number one. You had WCW and WWF, obviously now WWE, as we said before. So we're going to have a look at all the best figures for the best superstars from this era. Let's start with WCW, and let's have a look, shall we, at the NWO. Obviously, the NWO, a fantastic group that was kind of ever-changing, ever-evolving. They came up with the Too Sweet that you still see around today, and their leader was Hulk Hogan. Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Now, we were just about to get a Mattel figure of Hollywood Hulk Hogan, but then he was let go by WWE in 2015, and we never got that figure. There were computer-generated images of that figure, but we never actually had it released. Now that he's back, keep everything crossed that we get that Hollywood Hulk Hogan figure, because we really need it. But we can have a look at some other NWO members. Let's take a look at this Scott Hall. You can see Scott Hall here. This is a Ringside Collectables Elite. There's also a new WrestleMania 35 Elite that's on the way. Kevin Nash, of course. He's got a Ringside Collectables exclusive. That comes with a World Championship. It's got NWO spray painted on it. I think there's even a Kevin Nash WrestleMania 35 basic that's on the way. Six, you can get Six. He was called Six because he was the sixth member of the NWO. You can get an Elite flashback figure for him. This is maybe just a little bit pre-Attitude Era. You might be looking like 96 for this. But it's still worth including because it comes with that NWO top. We've got the Macho Man. You can get an NWO Wolfpack figure. That is a Ringside Collectables exclusive as well. And then they also did a later Macho Man, which was a then, now, forever Elite. The Giant, very similar to Six. I think this was maybe just pre-Attitude Era. Again, maybe 1996. But it comes with an NWO shirt, and this was his ring attire anyway, so the figure still works perfectly fine. Sting, you can get an NWO Wolfpack Sting, again, Ringside Collectables. Seems like all the NWO stuff went to Ringside, so another Ringside Collectables exclusive, or you can even get a darker, edgier Sting. This is from about 1997. It is the Crow defining moments. You can get a pack, a Hall of Fame 4-pack. This is WCW Nitro Notables. You get Larry Zbyszko. You get NWO Scott Hall, NWO Kevin Nash, and Eddie Guerrero with an LWO shirt. Obviously, that was his rival faction. As well as that, Mr. Perfect. I can't find like a dedicated WCW Mr. Perfect, but Kurt Hennig was a big superstar around this time. So you could get the Legends Elite. I think that would be absolutely fine. Lex Luger has got a flashback basic, and you can actually build J.J. Dillon. No Eric Bischoff, which is a bit frustrating. I'm very surprised because I feel like he has signed a few contracts with WWE in the past, but for whatever reason, they've not been able to release a figure yet. Diamond Dallas Page. There was a Legends Elite that was based on his 1997 attire. Vader. Vader, you can get Elite 31 for Vader. He was around WCW till 1998, and then he went over to Japan. So he was definitely around at the start of the Attitude Era. Next up, we've got Goldberg. Maybe the biggest star outside of obviously Hulk Hogan. But Goldberg, you can get the entrance great. That comes with the World Heavyweight Championship. Rey Mysterio has got a new Elite coming out. Halloween Havoc. This is Elite Series 67, and that is based on his 1997 ring attire. Dean Malenko, again, was around this time. Elite 37, that is based on his 1996 attire, so a little bit early, but he was still wearing this as we went into the Attitude Era. Ric Flair, you can get a Defining Moments Ric Flair that comes with the World Heavyweight Championship and a robe. This is perfectly fine because Ric Flair's ring attire was very basic even during this time. So that'll do the job. Steven Regal, Lord Steven Regal, Elite 45. I believe he was wearing this at the start of the Attitude Era in 1997, so it works. And then Bam Bam Bigelow, Legends, Series 5. Again, Bam Bam was around during the Attitude Era. Right, guys, we need to move on. We need to have a look at WWE, WWF, and see what was happening over there. So we're going to start, of course, with their group, their rival to the NWO, DX, D-Generation X. So let's start with this. Here you can see Triple H with the megaphone. You might remember Triple H invaded WCW. So yeah, you can get that figure, Elite 23. There's also an Attitude Era series of figures. Now, I can only find 4. One of them is Triple H, so that's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool figure to get. Next up, we've got Shawn Michaels. This is a Ringside Collectables exclusive. That is his 1998 attire. And I can tell you, he pretty much missed the Attitude Era. From 98 to 2002, he was on a hiatus. So, yeah, not many Shawn Michaels Attitude Era figures. Next, we've got the New Age Outlaws. We've got the Road Dogg. Billy Gunn, you can get Hall of Champions figures. And these are based on their ring attire from 1998. X-Pac next. X-Pac, Elite 33 with the European Championship. Of course, X-Pac is the same person as Six. So X-Pac is a little bit more based in the Attitude Era. Sadly, no China or, unsurprisingly, Chris Benoit figures. They were both very big around this time. We do have Bret Hart, and I would say Bret Hart, along with Stone Cold, Mr. McMahon, I would say those are the 3 most responsible when it comes to WWF for kickstarting the Attitude Era. Bret Hart, you can get Defining Moments based on his ring attire from 1997. This is pretty much what he was wearing during the Montreal Screwjob in Survivor Series. So it's a pretty cool figure to get if you've got one, but very hard to find as well. Next up, we've got The Undertaker. This is Ministry Undertaker, so it's a Defining Moments figure. You can also get a Hall of Champions, which is based on his 1999 ring attire. Kane up next. Kane, debut attire. from the end of 1997. I believe that's Elite Series 12, the big red monster. You can also get a Hall of Champions figure for him when he was WWE Champion in 1998. And of course, Paul Bearer, who would be with Kane during that early run. You can get a Hall of Champions Elite of Paul Bearer. Next up, as I said, one of the main characters during this time, maybe the biggest, Stone Cold Steve Austin. We've got a couple of figures here. We've got defining moments. That comes with 3 belts, including the Smoking Skull. And there's an Attitude Era figure for Stone Cold. Of course, you can't have Stone Cold without Mr. McMahon. This is Mr. McMahon, the network spotlight figure. Of course, Mr. McMahon won the 1999 Royal Rumble, and I'm sure that's what this figure is based upon. Then we've got Chris Jericho. He's got an Attitude Era Elite. His shirt says Raw is Jericho. And then we've got the Godfather for Elite 39, which is a very cool figure. You get loads of accessories there. We've got Rikishi, Hall of Champions figure. That comes with an Intercontinental Championship from the year 2000, or based on his ring attire from the year 2000. Scotty 2 Hottie, Elite 57. Sadly, no Grandmaster Sexay. Obviously, those three used to hang around quite a bit together. We've got the Big Boss Man. This isn't when he was wearing blue in the early 90s. This is the Corporation Big Boss Man. So, Elite 47A. Of course, he would have a feud with Big Show and quite a famous match against The Undertaker at WrestleMania 15. Next, we've got The Rock. The Rock, an Attitude Era figure for The Rock, based on 1998, again when he was joining the corporation as well. And then we've got the 3 faces of Foley. Obviously, Mankind, you had the Rock and Sock connection. Mankind was very active during this time. There's a great SummerSlam Elite that you can get. We've got Cactus Jack, Elite 48. He actually had a street fight against Triple H at the Royal Rumble in the year 2000. And then Dude Love, Elite 62. He appeared on an episode of Raw in 1997. We're moving on. We've got much more to look at. D'Lo Brown, Elite 52. Comes with the European Championship. That's based on his ring attire from 1998. Of course, he was in the Nation of Domination. You've got Farouk and Rock as well, who were also in the Nation of Domination. That is a 2-pack, and that is based on their 1997 Survivor Series attire. After that, you got Mark Henry. No Nation of Domination figure for him yet, but there is a Fan Central sexual chocolate figure. We got Ken Shamrock, Elite 52. Which is a great figure. I didn't think we would ever get that. Gold Dust. It's very hard to find an Attitude Era Gold Dust because his more elaborate, out there kind of attires, they just haven't made. So you could go Elite Series 6. It's, you know, a standard looking Gold Dust, but it's got a really nice robe. So Elite Series 6 looks pretty cool. Shane McMahon. Now this was getting towards the very end of the Attitude Era. This is 2001, but this is a Ringside Collectables Shane McMahon, based on the match he had against Kurt Angle at King of the Ring. Talking of Kurt Angle, you can get Kurt Angle. You can get another Stone Cold Steve Austin and Stephanie McMahon in the Milk O Mania pack. That is the Epic Moments pack. And that is based on an event that took place on Raw from August 20th, 2001. We've got Lita, Elite 41. That is her ring attire from the year 2000. Terry Funk. Terry Funk. This is the ECW Terry Funk. Comes with the ECW Championship. ECW were like the 3rd brand around this time. And this is based on his attire from 97. They did make a Tommy Dreamer in a battle pack with Christian, but I don't think that Tommy Dreamer is from the Attitude Era. So it's the only one they've made. If you want Tommy Dreamer, you can get one, but it's not an Attitude Era Tommy Dreamer. There's no Sabu, there's no Sandman, there's no Paul Heyman from around this time. But you can get a Paul Heyman, basic 63. There's also no Linda McMahon, which is a real shame. I'd love to have a Linda McMahon with Trish pushing her in the wheelchair. They should totally make that as an epic moment set. Again, you can get Trish, but again, I don't think it's from this era. Next, we've got the APA. That is Farouk and Bradshaw. They are based on Raw from the year 2000, and that is Elite 38. Dudley Boys, Battle Pack 45. They've made a few Dudley Boys, but again, I'm not confident they're Attitude Era Dudley Boys, but they're so important that you kind of need to have the Dudley Boys. Those matches, those like ladder matches from WrestleMania 2000 and WrestleMania 17 are some of the most important matches from the Attitude Era. So you have to have the Dudley Boys, and you have to have Edge and Christian. In fact, one of those matches, they've just released a battle pack where you get Edge and Jeff Hardy from that match. If you do want to get Elite, you can get Edge Elite 13 and Christian Elite 20. For the Hardy Boys, really tough. They've done that Jeff Hardy in that battle pack, but I can't find a Matt Hardy that goes with it. So you can get the WWE exclusive 2-pack, which it's not perfect, but honestly, I can't find a Matt Hardy from the Attitude Era. So if you know of one, let me know in the comments below. Next up, we've got the British Bulldog. This is his Legends Elite. And I think this ring attire is like 96, 97. Again, I just can't find anything a little bit later. We are definitely due another Bulldog, so maybe they're working on one. We've got Sid from Elite 39, another big superstar around this time. Mean Gene, obviously, we're still doing backstage stuff, more for WCW, but you can get a flashback figure, and then you can get like a JR, a Jim Ross, the voice of the Attitude Era. You can get a JR Build-A-Figure. I mean, there are definitely more than this. Hacksaw Jim Duggan was floating around at this time. You had, I think, Brian Knobbs was around at this time. Obviously, Jerry the King Lawler as well was doing commentary at this time. So you can get those figures and other superstars, but I feel like we've boxed off the major ones here. So if you want to build an Attitude Era collection, these are definitely the figures to get. Awesome, guys. I hope that helped. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already, because we have got more of these types of videos on the way. If there's a certain era or idea that you've got for a video, let me know in the comments below. I'd really appreciate it if you leave a like as well. Just lets me know that you enjoyed the video. And that's it, guys. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.